Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my favorite pizza dough recipe. I have used this recipe for years and have never had a problem with it unless my yeast was expired and I didn't realize it. It's the only time it's ever failed on me. It's extremely versatile. It's easy to add a few extra ingredients to it if you want a more flavorful crust. And, you know, it has a very short rise time. So I would say probably within 40 minutes of coming home or deciding you want pizza for dinner, you can have your own homemade pizza dough already whipped up and ready to go. So to get started, what we're going to need is 3 cups of warm water around 110 degrees. And I've also added in 3 tablespoons of olive oil to my water. I've got 2 tablespoons of instant yeast. You can use just the regular active dry yeast, but you'll have to let that proof for a good 10 minutes before you can start. I've got 2 tablespoons of sugar and 1 tablespoon of salt, and we're also going to need flour. And that's all that goes into the basic ingredients. If you wanted to jazz this up a little bit, you could add some roasted garlic that has been minced up. You could add parsley, you could add a little bit of Parmesan cheese to your flour. And it will work just as well and give you a really nice savory crust. But all we got to do now is add all the ingredients into our mixer. So I'm going to start with my water and oil, and then I'm going to add in my yeast and my sugar, and then I'm just going to give this a quick little stir just to make sure the yeast is wet. The reason you want 110 degree water is that's what's going to make your yeast activate along with the sugar. The sugar kind of feeds the yeast, and the warmth of the water is what starts your activation process. Anything hotter than that will kill the active ingredients in your yeast, and it won't rise for you, or it won't start frothing up and let your bread doughs rise. So that looks good. Let me knock my yeast off the paddle. Now, before I add my salt in, I'm going to add in a couple of cups of flour first. The reason I do my salt separate from the yeast is salt and yeast react differently against each other, and it will cause your yeast to take a little bit longer to start the rise process. So just to help alleviate that, I think that's about 3 cups there. I'm going to go ahead and add in my salt now. So that's why I add them that way. It doesn't, it doesn't hurt if you add the salt in. Just be aware that you're going to have to let your doughs rise a little bit longer before they double. Alright guys, I'm going to let these 3 cups of flour start to mix in before I add any more. And again, we're going to need a total of 6 cups. Depending on the weather, we've had a lot of rain today, so I may actually need more. On a more dry day, you would probably need a little bit less. But for now, let's start with this 3 cups and see what it does for us. Alright guys, I've got about 5 cups of flour in here now. I'm going to go ahead and add in my 6th cup. And while I do this, I'd like to remind you of the Gamers and Geeks playlist that JPicaDeath and I have going on our channels. If you would like to be a part of that, it's quite simple. All you have to do is go out and make a cooking video, post it to your channel, and then let either JPic or I know, either in the comment section of our latest cooking videos, or if you're a part of his Discord server, you can let us know over there as well. We have all kinds of videos on the playlist. Everything from soups to stews to main courses to baked goods, and we currently have a new video up from Draco Invictus. He did a sous vide video, so it turned out really well. I hope you guys go over and check it out. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and continue mixing this up until the dough is at the point that I want it at. Alright guys, the dough is exactly where I want it. It's still a little bit tacky, but when I press in on it, my fingers come away clean. It's not sticking to them. So I'm going to let this knead for 5 minutes before I transfer it over into an oiled bowl. And I'll bring you back for that step. And I did forget to mention that this is a large batch version of my pizza dough. It's really simple to just cut all the ingredients in half and make a smaller batch if that's what you need for your family. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and get this kneaded up, and then I'll bring you guys back. Alright guys, this has been kneading on my machine for 5 minutes, and I did a last little hand knead on it, and you can tell it bounces back. It already feels like it's starting to rise up. And all we need to do now is transfer it over into a well-oiled bowl. I have sprayed mine with olive oil spray, and I'm going to give the top a light spray as well. So now all I need to do is loosely cover the top of this with a little bit of plastic wrap. And you want to do this loosely so that the dough has somewhere to kind of push up to. And I'm also going to put a clean, dry tea towel over the top of it. And I'm going to set this over in my oven and allow it to rise for 30 minutes. So I will see you guys then. Alright guys, as you can tell, the dough is out of my oven where I've been letting it rise for the last half hour. It is more than doubled in size. It is now ready to be gently deflated and rolled out and used in your favorite pizza recipe. If I was going to be using this batch to make pizza dough, I would roll it out into the size pizza that I want, set my oven for 400 degrees, and bake it until it's done, which is about 10 to 15 minutes. But actually this batch is going to be used for something else, and you'll be seeing that in an upcoming video. So I hope you guys remember to check out the Gamers and Geeks playlist, as well as my Elder Scrolls and Fallout Cookbook playlists. I will leave links down in the description to them. If you guys like this video, leave me a comment down below. You guys try it for yourselves. Let me know how it turned out for you. But for now, thank you so much for joining me today. I've been Ball Girl. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope I see you in the next one.